Well, if anyone ever wanted to label me, there's a couple of things you could say. I'm a male. I have a penis. I'm a man. You can tell all the facial hair. You can label me as African American. You can even say a little bit of native, a little bit of native juice, a little bit of native blood flowing through my veins, going up and down the streams, right? You can say I'm a Native American. Say I'm a Christian, definitely say I'm a Christian. And you can say I am an anti-feminist, in case no one can figure that out. So, yeah. Imagine my surprise when I see an ad for fucking feminism appear and some video. I don't even remember the video I was watching, but I do remember the ad. And I went to the YouTube page of the person. It was AJ Labs, where this one woman is talking about the myths of feminism. And when I saw this ad, I was like, this is destiny. That an ad for feminism would pop up for an anti-feminist. So, let's get this going on.
Let's talk about the F word, feminism. It represents a movement that's been badmouthed since it came on the scene, despite its huge impact on the world.
You know, there are lots of things that kind of confuse me about feminists. One thing that gets me the most about feminists is how they lack self-awareness. How they just seems like they just don't fucking understand why some people dislike them. It's really weird and really strange to me. I don't understand how a majority of them can be so fucking oblivious to the bullshit that is feminism. But then again, I guess they wouldn't be feminists if they had any level of self-awareness. So, yeah.
Feminism is a belief in gender equality, political, economic, and social.
Well, now I understand why people say feminism is a religion.
And yet, only 20% of Americans say they're feminists, even though 82% say they believe in gender equality. What gives? Is this a question of branding, or is all this one giant misunderstanding?
Or option 3, they understand that a bunch of feminists are gigantic fucking hypocrites. And they don't want to be associated with that.
Here are the 5 biggest myths about feminism. There's the been there, done that idea. Thanks to women's rights movements, women, not all, but many around the world can vote, own property, open a bank account, and hold all kinds of jobs. So what's left to fight for?
That's a really good question. And the answer to that question is ridiculously mundane shit that you could deal with without a fucking social movement. Like people calling you pretty on the fucking streets.
Misogyny is still alive and well, which means feminism is still needed.
You have got to be kidding me. You mean because people dislike women that you need a social movement? Are you like, wait, word? Like what? You know, the thing about people who end up being misogynist, especially clinical misogynists, is that they actually don't dislike women by virtue of them being a woman. They actually dislike women because some woman did something to them. So I mean, if you're a feminist, does that mean that you're battling against women from doing fucked up shit to men? I highly doubt it, but I mean, that would be pretty good. I'd support feminism a little bit if that's what they were really fighting for.
Forward to the day that feminism is outdated.
So misogyny, or hatred of women, hasn't gone anywhere, and neither has unequal pay.
Oh my fucking goodness.
For every $1 that a man earns in an hour, a woman earns 84 cents.
That's a bold-faced lie, and you know it. There have been several laws strictly prohibiting paying a woman less money for the same job. Who the fuck is doing that? Oh damn, the fucking purge is going on right now.
And only 8% of the top execs at the 500 most traded companies are women.
So fucking what? What if women don't want to be in those job positions? No one's stopping women from becoming those things. And if someone was, well then, yeah, I can understand why feminism still wouldn't be needed, but even if that were the fucking... Listen. You know what? I'm gonna save that whole conversation for another video. Let's just keep going.
And ending violence against women continues to be an ongoing fight.
Why would you only focus on ending violence against women? Why not just end violence against people? Why don't we just teach everybody self-defense? So we can fight off everyone, and there'd be like kung fu fights everywhere. That'd be fucking awesome, actually. Like if everybody knew martial arts and people actually wanted to hurt each other, they'd have to end up fighting each other in a fucking martial arts duel. And if you're just not that good, well, sorry, you got raped. Actually. Well, I mean, well, you did fight. You did your best. And, I don't know. I'd rather live in that world than the world we live in right now, where people act like fucking victims and like there's no way you could learn to defend yourself, so... yeah.
Even in a supposedly equal country like the US, 1 in 5 women have been raped, and 98% of rapists are men.
And your point is, wouldn't that be more of an incentive to teach women how to fucking fight men off? Or at least just to teach people how to fight so nobody ends up getting raped? I don't know. Maybe that statement made a little too much sense.
Then there's the people who say feminism is a girl thing. But if feminism is just for women, that would mean ending sexism is women's responsibility alone. And by the same logic, ending racism is only the job of people of color. How does that work? Especially when it comes to ending violence against women.
The reason why people see issues of gender violence as women's issues, the simplest, most basic explanation is that that's how power functions. And men are the dominant group, women are the subordinated group. And by calling it a women's issue shifts the responsibility and accountability off of men and puts it onto women.
Yeah. That sounds really fucking cool. But the answer to that actual question is really simple. The reason why gender issues are always seem to be swayed towards women's issue is because whenever men talk about issues they have, well, people tell them to shut up. There's a video response I did to Steve Shives, I think his name is, where he tells men to go off to their subreddit and to bitch and fucking complain about their problems. That's why. It's because when men do talk about it, they get fucking insulted for it. They get shamed for it. They get shamed for having problems. I mean, you people are delusional if you think that someone is shifting this onto women so only women have to fucking deal with it. No! Men deal with it too. And should they speak up about it, well, they get a fucking shitstorm. So, yeah.
So guess what, guys? You too can be a feminist.
No, that's not true. According to Melissa, men can only be feminist allies.
And as Nigerian author Shimamanda Adichie said,
a feminist is a man or a woman who says, yes, there's a problem with gender as it is today, and we must fix it. We must do better.
Wait, so are MRAs feminists too? That's weird.
Welcome. Some people fear that feminists want an estrogen world order, where fembots controlled by femnazis make men wash endless mountains of dishes. Sorry, but it's just not true. Maybe the real fear is upsetting the status quo?
Or maybe the real fear is that feminism and social justice is cultural Marxism in fucking disguise. You might want to investigate that. Just a little bit.
So there's lots of men who aren't doing well in the current system. There's lots of men who are oppressed by other men, by systems of class.
Stop right there. Lots of men are oppressed by other men by a system of class. If you do a little research into history, what you'll notice is that there has never really been a systematic oppression of any gender or any sexual orientation. But there has been systemic oppression of people based on their class or their role in society. It's always been the lower tier of society versus the upper echelon, the masses versus the elite. It's always been that way in all facets of history. When it comes to any sort of story you want to tell, when I talk about America and the Founding Fathers, when the Americans had to go up against the British in the Revolutionary War. Even right now, we still have the whole classism thing. It's always been the people with money and power against the people with quantity and nothing. That's what the battle's always been. And, well, you have to be some type of foolish to think that men are only oppressing fucking women and somehow other men end up being hurt by that too. Because then by your definition of a patriarchy, we wouldn't live in a fucking patriarchy.
Race and sexual orientation and ethnicity, all of which, by the way, feminism addresses.
And guess what? Even if you don't identify as male or female, feminism is for you too. Feminist naysayers point to their lipstick and high heels as badges of their anti-feminism. But get this.
If anything, feminism is about giving women the choice to, be whatever kind of person they would like to be it feminine or masculine or somewhere in between.
Another misconception is that feminism is against things like marriage and motherhood. Also not true. Throughout the years, feminists have fought against pregnancy discrimination in the workplace and better conditions for working moms.
I'm probably going to get a little bit of shit for this, but I'm going to say it. Working moms need to focus on their children. Parents need to focus on their kids. Work is very fucking time consuming, and as a kid who had to grow up with his mom working all of the fucking time, I can understand exactly why some of the conservatives think that women should be in their kids' lives, considering I was one of those fucking kids who had to watch his mom leave all the fucking time. So, I don't know, I'm speaking from experience. I wish my dad and my mom would have stayed together, and my mom would have stayed at home a lot more often, and didn't have to work so much, as I got to see her. I wish my parents stayed together, I guess. Maybe that's me, gushing a little bit. Maybe a little more of my hurt feelings coming out, you know what I'm saying? But, let's be fucking honest, working mothers should focus primarily on their newborn children. That's the time when they bond and when they grow and when their personalities start coming out, right? So, I don't know, that's just me gushing. It's just me venting a little bit.
And if being feminine to you means loving liquid liner, take a page from this feminist and go for it.
Whenever you're applying your eyeshadow, think of it like the glass ceiling. The thinner, the better.
Fucking hell, oh my gosh.
Finally, there's the idea that feminists don't look like me. They're imagined as old, white, and middle class. But
who the fuck imagines feminists like that? And who the fuck is outside my window talking shit? So many questions. Actually, I've done lots of video responses to feminists, and from what I've gathered, a lot of them seem to be pretty young women who don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So, yeah.
There are feminists of every race, age, class, sexuality, nationality, and gender. So the next time someone says to you, I'm not a feminist, but do them a favor and pass this along.
Hopefully, if I can get a hold of those people, I would make sure that they don't want to be feminists, and I'd help them understand that men and women are already equal. We're just fucking different. Well, that's the end of her video and subsequently the end of mine. So, guys, as always, if you like this video, please go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, have a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon.